Yo, I'm Bob, totally blind since birth, into Star Wars. Going to be talking about episode 3 of Andor on Disney Plus. Spoilers ahead, watch the episode before listening to my thoughts. And with that being said, I'm getting into the episode and you were warned. So, at the end of the second episode, as I was watching it for the first time the day all three of the episodes premiered, I wondered if we were going to see a much younger Andor wrecking the wreckage, as it were. And in the beginning of the episode, that's exactly what he's doing. I like him going into that ship there. After he's balled up that fist, he's given that vengeful glower, as the audio description track states, and he just starts breaking things that are probably already broken. He's just wailing on everything with his blowgun staff. That's what the AD track calls it. I guess it's a blow staff for short, from Charms. Anyway, yeah, that's going on there, and I like seeing a much younger Marva here, and we get to see a more pristine B2 EMO. We also get to meet Clem in this flashback. I'm guessing this is the guy who Luthen Rail mentions later in the episode during the present events when he's talking about Andor's father that was hung in the square. Not sure, but yeah, probably. I'm not going to say definitely because I'm never really good at making assumptions. So that's going on, and man, it turns out that the Canary kids killed a Republic officer. So yeah, a Republic frigate is coming in, and Marva wants to take Andor off world as soon as she can because she thinks it's going to be open season on everyone. Of course, how is she to know that there are several other kids there? She really wants this kid safe. She doesn't want him killed. And so that's what they do. They grab what she calls the drowser. And it sounds like allergy medication. Of course, I think of allergy medication quite frequently because I have those in fall and very early spring. Not too bad otherwise, though. So that's going on. Andor gets put to sleep, and they're trying to hightail it off world. They do eventually make it off world. I liked that this ship was associated with the Republic. They killed a Republic officer. This thing has crashed, so I'm guessing this probably takes place before Order 66. Otherwise, they would call it an Imperial vessel, an Imperial officer, and all that. So even back in the good old days of the Republic, I'm sure Palpatine probably had his boys up to some pretty unauthorized stuff there. I'm not sure what they were mining. I wonder if we'll find that out at some point. So in present day, you get to see Luthen, and he makes his way to Bix, and yeah, she's been talking about Andor with Luthen. So I like that she's already mentioned him, and this is of course exactly why Luthen's here. I'm guessing Bix has probably put some good words in about Andor, and Luthen wants to see what this guy's made of. So he's got the information he needs. He knows that bulletin's put out there, and he needs to get to Andor before Cyril's team does. So I like how they meet in this abandoned factory as Cyril and his boys are touching down with Officer Linus, and I really find the relationship between Andor and Luthen quite fascinating in this episode. I like how they're working together as actors, of course, and I like how the characters mesh very well. They're really trying to get a feel for each other. Andor really doesn't trust this guy. He just wants to sell Luthen the Star Path device, and that's all he wants. But Luthen really wants Andor to come with him, and once stuff starts to hit the fan on Ferrix, Andor has little choice because he's of course got that comm link with him. Cyril breaks into to Andor's place. I was really worried about Marva not making it there. I mean, she's got that health condition, and here come these guys. They're just trashing the joint, but she's taking it like a pro. She's like, "You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself." And Cyril, a brave man that he is, he's like, "Shut her up!" You know, he's barking orders and all that. He feels like a big man threatening an old droid and a woman with a cane and a health condition. So he's having a field day at first, of course, And, they find Andor's location because they're able to track his comm that he's got. He makes a call to B2, and he wants B to apologize to Marva for him. And it's a really sweet scene, but of course the villains are listening, so they hightail it for Andor's location. And Luthen, I love Luthen, when he's like, okay, so they know where you are. Give me your comm link. And he's like, give it to me. Give it. I just love how he's not really wanting any nonsense. Just the phrase give it reminds me of being 10, and that's kind of what we all said when it came to, looking at everybody's Star Wars or Power Rangers action figures. I just love that little phrase. Give it! I got a bit of a chuckle out of that for some reason. Gave me some nostalgic vibes there. But yeah, Luthen crushes that comlink, and they've got to get out of there. I love how Luthen's thought ahead, and he says something like, yeah, you have to plan your exit on your way in. So he's got the door rigged with these charges, and as the team shows up there, door just blows down. And this one guy, I like how he's trying to come in, and he just falls over. I don't know if he's dead. I'm guessing he probably is. He comes in there, and he's like, okay, I'm done. And he just falls over. And we get to see all these chains from this suspension there. They're starting to untether. We see all these counterweights like swinging everywhere. I think Andor gets hit by a hook, kind of nudged a little bit by a hook. If it hadn't been for the counterweights and whatnot, and if it was just chains and hooks, I would have expected that lead Cenobite from Hellraiser to show up, because we got chains swinging everywhere. There are blaster shots going everywhere. The teams have split up. Bix is captured by somebody on... It's either the North team or the West team, and he's strong-arming her. Tim, he's already let slip that he's betrayed Andor, and so she's gone off to find Andor. And of course, well, this is what happens to Tim. He's pretty much orchestrated a lot of this, and of course I like how he tries to do the right thing before he takes a blaster to the chest, and bye Tim, I guess. You can't help but feeling bad for this guy. I don't think he knew what he was setting in motion. He was thinking with his jealous bone, and in this case it didn't end well, and no more Tim in the show, I guess. I did feel really bad for the guy when he took that blaster to the chest. I mean, yeah, he wasn't doing very smart things in the show, but that's not a good way to go out. And he died trying to protect the woman he loved, even though I'm guessing he probably knew he was done for. He just ran up and they snuffed him out like a candle. And she's, of course, not taking it well. They handcuffed her to a pipe there. And they're all trying to go after Andor. The coolest scene, I think, was with that decoy speeder there, when Luthen and Andor they take a second speeder bike, and then they have the first speeder there explode. And I mean, that's how they get away. But before that, we see Cyril Karn on the end of a blaster, because Andor they show up there. Andor and Luthen do. And it's a pretty interesting little scene there. Cyril goes from being the big man to, he's answering the questions that they're asking, because Luthen is threatening to kill him. So he goes from, I'm going to threaten this old lady and this droid, to, there's 14 of us here. There's 12 officers, and there's me, and there's this other officer. That's all I know. So he's scared now, and he was gagged for a while until they found him. And now things are just topsy-turvy. I like the traumatized Cyril there after the explosion. He's in shock. Linus gets to him there, and he's like, sir, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here now. And, of course, they've escaped. Cyril is not doing too well. I like how Linus pretty much has to yell into his face to get him to come to, but I guess that's what happens when you go into shock. I mean, you're just kind of, you've been through a ginormous explosion, and you're trying to regain your wits, and Cyril's got his buddies, so I mean, he's fine. And I think one of the most heartbreaking scenes was Marva there in her her place there at the end of the episode. She's remembering getting Andor comfortable in that craft there, and now she's alone. B2's there. He's not sure what to do. She's weeping because she's not sure what's going to happen to this guy. He's wanted, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to Marva, because now, I mean, they might just come back to question her some more. I can't wait to see what happens to Cyril and his boss in the next episode, because he really messed up, and Linus has also messed up. As I film this, the 4th episode it's premiering. It's premiere day for episode 4 of Andor, so I'm finishing this up and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna see just how the imps handle Cyril and Linus fumbling that ball, as it were. I can't wait to see what they do. So I will hear you guys in the next Andor episode review. Man, this one had a lot of action. I loved the blaster shootout. I like the stuff with the charges rigged on the door. And I like how crafty Luthen Rael is. This guy, you can tell he's been through a lot, and I can't wait to see what he and Andor get up to next. Pretty cool episode. Hopefully nobody dies soon. I don't want anybody to die in this show. I hope somebody makes it to Rogue One, through Rogue One. I know the Rogue One characters aren't, but hey, maybe we'll see Luthen after Rogue One. Maybe B2 EMO is going to be okay. I'm kind of wondering about Marva, though. She's kind of been through a lot, and health-wise, she might take a turn for the worse. I don't know. Anyway, my cat's crying because he wants to watch the next episode, I guess. I'm going to go do that. I'll hear you guys next time. May the Force be with you.